time for our next update, guys. We've done a lot of work. Took our pipe, cut it, got her welded in place here. Looks real strong. Welds, they're not bad. They're not the greatest. Cleaned them up a little bit. Now we're actually working on getting the seat bracket on this. Screws into the bottom of that seat over there. So what we're going to do is I had this piece of angle iron from a previous project. Take and cut it, weld it in, and that'll allow us to weld a seat bracket to this, and that ought to be a pretty solid little mount for our seat. So that's what we're working on now. Oh my god. Ew. Okay, so we've measured our seat up, it's centered, it's we've checked the square on it, it's good. We're about to start welding her in. We're going to tack her all 3 places and then start laying beads. Here we go. Okay, clean her up and let it rip. There is some oil or something on that. That fucking stunk. We're back, guys. Here's our seat plate in. It's all welded in. We're welding this crossbar in just to support the seat bracket more. It'll hold it. There's no chance of that moving, and it'll also support these 2 outer frame rails. So Devin's going to take a rip at her. We're on watch. Hey everybody, a little bit of an update. This is all I'm going to be doing today. I'm just doing this before I go into work. But I pulled the motor off the race cart. Here it is. I cleaned it up real good, hit it with some purple power. And she's looking pretty good. Got that cart up from where I washed it. Actually looks like some water got in, so that's not ideal, but hey, don't look like it's too much water. But I'm actually, this exhaust, when I got it, I neglected to paint it, so it's rusted. I'm about to take and hit it with the grinder and clean it up and then paint it. I just went and bought some high heat paint, so have a nice good looking painted exhaust. Okay, here's your finished product. Not perfect, but I got most of it knocked off. Enough that the paint will bond well, so. I'm gonna go ahead and spray her. Hold that. Glove up. So, just got a package in the mail. I know what this right here is full of, so I'm excited to get this open. I'm going to start cutting on her and let y'all see. Alright guys, here we are. That's just a packing slip. Oh man, I'm excited. Okay. Lots of packing paper. Got our throttle kit here. Oh dude, that's nice. It's big, I like that. For 7/8 inch bars. I've got 2 bearing hangers in this bag. Throttle cable and cable conduit. Some really thick looking stuff. Hopefully those will work well together, and that's actually it, other than these 2 5-inch PVC sleeves. Those are pretty thick. Hopefully I'll be able to get these over those tires. It's going to be a tight fit, but awesome. What's going on, guys? We're back working on the drift trike. Just rode yesterday with Dylan, but it's a nasty day out, so we're on the front porch where it's covered. We're working on getting the motor plates put on, so we've got our bar marked up, measured up. The building process now kind of slows down because we have to start making sure that everything works with everything else that's here. So you have to have everything out, mock everything up together, pull it off, then mark it, then cut it, put it back on, make sure it actually works. Get to the tedious stuff. I'm actually going to go for a mid-engine trike. So we're going to have the motor behind the seat in front of the axle. I've seen a few people do it like that. I think the biggest reason people don't, I searched for it, and the best answer I could find was that by having the axle further forward, right behind the seat, it gives you a little bit more traction. But we're going to try it this way and see how it works. Worst case scenario, I can always cut off and build a new rear end, so about to get to cutting. Here we are, guys. As you can tell, we've been relatively busy. Got these 2 bars cut. These are going to be the supports for the motor plate. We went ahead and V-notched it to get it where we can get a lot more contact and a lot better weld on there. But got her ground out where we can center her up. Got everything measured. So all we're about to do now is get her tacked in place and then start laying beads for the motor plate. After that, we're going to put the seat on and the motor on. We'll show a little clip of that to get an idea what it's going to look like, make sure everything clears. And then from there, it's on to building the rear part of the frame that's going to house the axle. That's going to be built and it's going to be squared off. We're still using round tubing, but it needs to be perfectly square. So that'll be a little bit challenging, but just got to get her built and make sure that it'll tie in with this, tie in with that well, and then we're good. Next update, bars are in, motor plate is notched and welded down. Some of the welds are okay, some of them not so much, but she'll hold. Centered up, it's got a slight angle tilted forward, which is fine. It's not cockeyed out of the way though, which is the important part. So now we're actually onto the step of putting the seat on, putting the motor on, just so we can make sure everything works, and then from there, that's going to help us determine how far back the axle needs to be, and then we're going to have to start getting measurements to build the rear part of the frame.
They got me to laugh.
Here's the drift track all mocked up, guys. All we got to do now is start measuring and trying to figure out what we want the rear axle to be like, and get to fabricating a little bit more. I like the motor between the seat and the axle. I like that. I think it looks cool. A little bit different. Hopefully it works out well. If not, well, it's too damn late anyway. So that's the way it's going to be. For those of you that don't know this motor, it's a stock Predator. Internal, everything that's on it is bolt-on. It's got a CNC bored-out carb. It's got a ARC billet flywheel with an 8-degree time in advance. Other than that, it's just got the pod filter and this exhaust pipe. And then the governor's removed, of course. Other than that, she's stock. So that's all I've done to it. That's all I'm going to do to it. Yeah, it's got a Champion spark plug. That's all I'm going to do to it, because as of right now, if it blows, pull that stuff off, go get a new motor, not a big deal. I don't want to put money in this thing, and not just that. I could have a fucking 2.5 horsepower motor on this thing and do the same stuff. It's a drift trike. It doesn't put power down, so it don't matter.
Piece of shit wouldn't have it.
You have a Predator on yours.
I should have kept my phone.
Okay, guys. So we talked about it a little bit more. We figured out our plan to finish the rear end, but the weather's pretty nasty. It's raining, and Devin had to go. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pack it up for the day. Kind of relax the rest of the day. Get this stuff picked up. I got quite a bit to get put up here and take back apart. So
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean.